Hello and welcome to Creating Capacity for Change. For those of you who haven't met us before,
My
who
name
are
is
you?
Amanda Whitehead.
And my name's Joanna Thompson. So, just to make sure we're in the right place, can I just ask a couple of quick questions? Do you ever get the feeling of being overwhelmed? Do you ever feel stuck? Let me guess. You're the sort of woman who holds everything together. You're the organizer, the emotional go-to, the one that gets things done, even when you're running on empty. Some days you might look at your diary and wonder, how did you become the glue for everyone else's life? Somehow you forgot to find the space for your own. You're overwhelmed with work, responsibilities, and to-do lists. But maybe there's still that little voice in your head saying, there's got to be more to life than this. You just don't know where to start. You want change, not dramatic, blow your life up change, but meaningful change. A life that feels like it fits you now, not the version of you 10 or 20 years ago. You've probably tried new morning routines, listened to umpteen podcasts, and tried to start reading all the books. But while you know they all make sense, life keeps hijacking you, keeps taking your energy, your focus. Because let's be honest, when you spent years being the reliable one, making space for everyone else, it's bloody hard to start making space for yourself. So you tell yourself, oh, it's okay, I'll start next month. I should be grateful. So many people have it worse than I do. What have I got to moan about? Just get through this week and I'll think about making some changes next week. But deep down, you know the truth. You can't create change until you create capacity. Now imagine this. 6 months from now, you're waking up refreshed without that tidal wave of to-do lists rushing through your brain. You don't reach for your phone. You breathe first. You come first. You stop saying yes to things that drain you just to avoid the guilt. Newsflash, guess what? No one's fallen apart. Nobody hates you. In fact, people seem to respect your new boundaries because you do. You've started doing things just for you. You don't panic when things feel uncertain anymore. You've learned that stillness is powerful. Your energy is different. You're not running on fumes anymore. You've made that decision. It's your choice, your life. You are back in control. So if that's where you are, and that's where you want to be, can we show you how to get there?
We are in front of you today, having helped many women create that capacity for change. We have touched the lives of hundreds by helping just one person at a time. Over the last 3 years, we have run numerous workshops, programs, and retreats, and come up with a formula that we want to share with you. We love what we do. We love to see your successes, and we can't wait to see where we can take our mission of helping thousands of women to take back control and create the capacity they need to create the life that they deserve. But it hasn't always been like this. Jo was stuck in a toxic work environment that left her depleted and with no confidence in her decision making or ability to achieve more. A knock-on effect from being made redundant from a job she loved and from previously being burnt when she worked in the financial sector for the wrong man. Having always been a positive risk taker despite early challenges, it felt like she just couldn't bounce back this time. To add injury to insult, the role that she was overqualified for and which she was dreading going into the office to face day after day made her redundant. It was only when she found herself reapplying for this role that she suddenly realised, what the hell am I doing? The first thing she did was call me and said, put the kettle on, I'm coming round.
Now, let me tell you about Amanda, because I think many of us will see a little of ourselves in her. Amanda was the kind of person everyone could rely on. She was warm, dependable, always ready to help, no matter the cost to herself. If there was a problem in the family, she fixed it. If a friend was struggling, She dropped everything. If work needed someone to just pick this up, she'd say yes without hesitation. Why? Because Amanda wanted to keep the peace. She hated conflict. She thought that if everyone else was happy, then she could relax. But here's what happened. Weeks turned into months, months into years. She was always on. No pause button, no recharge. Her own needs, always at the bottom of the list. Her own dreams, pushed aside for later. And guess what? Later never came. She wore a mask of I'm fine so well, no one saw the exhaustion underneath. Until one morning she woke up and realized she felt completely lost. She didn't know what she wanted anymore, only what everyone else expected from her. She was tired, not just physically tired, but soul tired. Burnout had crept in quietly like a slow leak. She'd been running on empty for so long, she didn't even recognize herself. That was her turning point. Amanda realized that putting herself last wasn't kindness, it was depletion. She understood that saying yes to everyone else meant she was constantly saying no to herself. So she made a decision to start putting her own oxygen mask on first, to create space for her needs, her rest, her joy, to learn that boundaries weren't selfish, they were essential. Today, Amanda still cares deeply for others, but she does it from a place of strength, not sacrifice. She's rediscovered who she is, and that's allowed her to show up more fully, with more energy and love than ever before. Maybe, just maybe, her story is your wake-up call as well. Whilst I was employed, I'd started a networking group for health and wellness professionals. I didn't know many people in Lincoln, only my partner. And secondly, I was always interested in health and wellness, and this way I got to learn from the experts. What this meant was I had access to many very knowledgeable people. I knew the methods they used, and I tried them on myself. I knew which books to read, which podcasts to listen to. I started noticing what worked for me. Amanda's always been very knowledgeable about gut health and nutrition, but with her journey with her daughter, she also learned from coaches, deepening her knowledge on the nervous system and the gut-brain connection, and finding out what practices worked for her.
By bringing our knowledge, contacts, and ideas together, we were able to start creating programs and workshops to start getting the results that we did. Refining our techniques, rewiring our methods, and analysing what works the quickest and more frequently for our cohorts. Here are just a couple of wonderful comments from some of our cohorts. Thank you so much for a wonderful day. Can't believe all the information and ideas included. Really needed the calm afternoon to process it all. Lovely place, lovely people. What a gorgeous experience. Looking forward to the next one already. We have gone from broken, lost and overwhelmed, no confidence, lack of everything, to knowing our purpose, loving the journey and excited for what comes next. If we can turn this around by plugging into our systems, then there is no reason why you can't do the same too. That's why we developed the Creating Capacity for Change pathway. It helps exhausted, overwhelmed women go from feeling stuck and lost to feeling full of energy, clarity, and being back in control.
We do this by taking you through the 7 elements of the pathway to help you confidently create space in your life that actually sticks. So we start with the wheel of needs to find out where you need to focus on first. Now, we don't have time on this session because it needs a bit of time to get the best out of it. The second element is self-awareness, finding out what makes you tick, what angers you, what frightens you, what excites you, and what gives you joy. This might surprise you as you go deeper, as sometimes we are following someone else's idea of our life. Sleep is next, and I believe the most important one to get right. Without being properly rested, we cannot repair, review, or create. We then focus on mindset. Are you getting in your own way? Is it because you don't really know what you want? What might you need to reframe? A really influential element is your environment. This could be your physical, your work, your digital or social environment. Imagine what you could achieve if you clear the clutter that stills your focus. The sixth one is self-care. How to start putting yourself first and not last. Sustainable, soul-level self-care that restores you. Now, the last element is creating your personal plan. A simple, focused, flexible plan that works for you, honors your energy, your season of life, and your goals. This isn't about overhauling your life, it's about reclaiming it, bit by bit, with support, clarity, and tools that work. So let's go a little deeper. For each step in the pathway, we're going to suggest some tips to get you started on your personal plan. So you might want to just grab a pen and paper and make any notes that you feel are relevant to you. So, as I say, we start off with the wheel of needs, as this is a vital part of the process, as it helps you find out where you're at with all your human needs. It's something that we like to revisit every 3 months as well, to see what progress we've made and to understand which elements have changed it, and to understand what is working and what isn't. If you'd like us to show you how to do that, the best way to do is we can go through that at a later date, but I'll tell you about how we can do that on our Creating Space workshop at the end.
So the next step is self-awareness. This is the key to the process and links in with the wheel of needs, as it is all about you recognizing and understanding your own thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and motivations. It involves being conscious of your internal state, so your feelings, your beliefs, your values, and also your desires. How you appear to others, such as how your actions and behaviours affect those around you. For some people, this comes more naturally than others, but it is something that can be learned and considered with time and practice. Self-awareness is also understanding the difference between your authentic true self and your ego self, and being able to recognise this when you are feeling stressed, anxious, and frustrated, compared to when you are feeling calm, relaxed, and at peace. Have you ever reacted badly to a comment because you were stressed or anxious or worried about something else? And you know that your reaction would have been totally different had that been on another day. Self-awareness gives you the gift of knowing when to pause and when to respond rather than react. Would anyone like to find some ways to help with that? We have many ways, but today I just want to focus on one: journaling. If you saw yourself in that comment and want to stop it happening at home or at work, it really helps to know when you did it. Now, sometimes you will know this instantly, but often it takes a bit more thought and reflection, and journaling is an excellent way to do this. When you write things down, it allows you to firstly get it out of your head. This allows you to better understand your triggers, spot any patterns, and potentially work through them. There is no right or wrong way to do this. This could be a daily practice to write about whatever is on your mind, or it could be when things come up. It could be a bullet point list, or it could be pages in a journal. You can keep them as thoughts to reread, or you can destroy them by shredding or burning them, a little bit like a cleansing ritual. Only you know how you need to do it, and that may depend on the day, your mood, where you are, and what it's about. As I said, there is no right or wrong way, it's just what works for you.
So sleep is the next step. Sleep is the most powerful health tonic you can get. No lotions, potions, pills, or tinctures are as effective. Whilst you sleep, your whole being goes through the most incredible service. If anyone listening to this has got sleep nailed, amazing. There's a lot of you out there who I know haven't. Your sleep is divided into different sections, and these sections are on a constant cycle. Once you've drifted off to sleep, the process starts. Firstly, your body starts to repair physically from the vigors of the day. Then, any learning you have done starts to sink in and stay. When you get to the REM stage, this is when you're dreaming. At this point is when you start to process all the emotional elements of the day or whatever it is that might be bothering you. Now, you don't always remember your dreams, but you will still be working on them regardless. This cycle continues until you wake, and each element is vital to maintain good health and well-being, and ideally you should complete 3 to 4 cycles a night. Without these cycles happening consistently, you will very quickly notice a difference, and if there is something you've struggled with for a long time, then it could be the root to many of your imbalances. The first place to start is to create a new sleep routine. So firstly, you need to be consistent. This is a word you'll hear a lot from Amanda and myself, as it is so important for any aspects of your creating capacity journey. Without it, you're not giving yourself the chance you deserve. So perhaps you could set yourself a goal for 14 days, go to bed at the same time every night, including the weekend, and get up at the same time as well. This will give your body a fighting chance to get into a routine. If this is doable, continue. If it isn't, why isn't it? Now, if it's because of a special occasion came across, of course you can have a late night, of course you can. But if it's because it just feels a bit different, it's not easy, you need to consider how important this is to you. Now, are you sleeping in a calm and uncluttered room? Ideally, you want to be sleeping in a place that makes you feel calm, relaxed, and safe. If it's a dumping ground for clothes, gym kit, or anything that doesn't have a home anywhere else, it's not creating the right environment. Taking that extra 2 minutes to hang things up or put in the laundry basket rather than dumping on that chair will immediately make a difference. If you struggle with that, you need to remove the chair. Try and restrict your time on screens just before you try and switch off. Your poor brain is so overloaded with information coming from all directions, it doesn't know when to start slowing down. Give it some hints. Stop at certain times so it knows what's coming. Fortunately, I have some more bad news for you. Caffeine and alcohol have the wrong impact on a restful night's sleep. I know, I'm sorry. When we consume a lot of caffeine, we don't notice the effect it has. It's only really when you reduce it that you realize how addictive it is and how it impacts your body. If you drink a lot of tea and coffee, try going a couple of days without it and see how it makes you feel. Now, I know so far it seems like I've just been saying no and stop, don't do that. I want you to try and have a think about how you could perhaps replace some of these things or even enhance all of these things. So, for example, perhaps a bath before bed rather than the TV, perhaps a lovely herbal tea from a dainty china cup instead of your coffee or wine, perhaps some lovely essential oils instead of eau de gym kit. Imagine you're sitting in bed, reading a book, sipping your new favorite tea with the relaxing smell of lavender to tell your body and mind it's nearly sleep time, so get ready. Create your ideal sleep routine and find out what works for you.
The next step is your mindset. This means shifting how you think, react, and approach challenges. This will have a huge impact on your happiness, resilience, and success. As the saying goes, if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. But what we forget is that we have control over this. Maybe not today, but with patience, practice, and consistency, you can learn how to take that first thought, then follow it with one of your choosing. You can practice cultivating this new mindset by embracing challenges and seeing them as opportunities as you learn. Swap I can't do this with I can't do this yet. Reframe, practice, repeat. On every workshop, program, session, or retreat we do, we encourage everyone to make that 1% daily improvement. Adding one small positive action to your day is where you start. For example, starting your day with a glass of water, hot or cold, and a slice of lemon. This is a small, simple habit that you can add to your routine with very little effort. And even if you forget the lemon, you're still having the water. Soon this will become just part of your routine that you don't even think about. You can do this with any new task or habit. So over time, you habit stack and have created a whole new routine that you do effortlessly without even thinking.
Now, the next part of the process that you consider is your environment. Now, this can be your home, your work, social or digital. They all need to be considered. But today I want to just focus on your home, as this is where you go to feel safe, comfortable, inspired, and content. It's a reflection of you, and often your mood will be reflected in your physical environment. When our homes are feeling cluttered, disorganized, and unruly, it can lead to feelings of overwhelm, stress, anxiety, and frustration. You may not even realize it. We could be so used to the clutter that it's normal. We don't realize the impact it's having on our day-to-day lives. How many people here get the chance to do a proper spring clean? Have you ever done it? How does it make you feel afterwards? It's about creating the environment, taking back control, and giving you some space to breathe and relax. It may be that you struggle with letting go, and this can be a difficult process, but it is essential if you want to move forward and create space for the next opportunity. Remember, we are talking about creating the capacity to make the changes. This is necessary in all areas of your life so that you have the space in your head, your heart, and your environment to be able to do this freely. Now, there are many reasons we hold on to things, and we don't have time right now to go into all of them. But if this is a difficult area for you, I would like to suggest you start with a particular room, your kitchen. Why? Well, it's the one room that will definitely have areas such as drawers, cupboards, fridges, etc., that you can do one at a time when you have 10 minutes. Most of the time as well, it's full of less sentimental items, so you can be a little bit more brutal about those wooden spoons that you might not need. It's also the most used room in the house by the most people, so making this more organized will impact on the whole household and potentially send some positive messages and ideas around the residence. Now, there are 4 methods I generally speak around, and you will probably find that you resonate with one of them more than the other one, but you may well use them all over the period of your decluttering, depending on your mood and time frame. But today I'm going to focus on one, and it's called the 5-box method. This is where you choose what to do with each item, whether you're going to keep it, donate it, recycle it, sell it, or it's going in the bin. You simply have 5 piles or 5 boxes and put each item onto one of them. Now, the key, though, is to make sure that the donate and recycle boxes go where they need to go, and you actually do sell the ones in the sell box. Now, this is where the self-awareness kicks in. If you know 100% you will definitely sell those items, fantastic. However, if deep down you know that you'll never get round to doing it, either give it to a friend that does it all the time, or it goes in the donate box and you're down to the 4-box method.
We're almost there. So the next step is self-care. This is such an important step because without it, we are trying to grow without watering, nurturing, or nourishing ourselves. As you become more self-aware and shift your mindset, you will also learn what serves you and what doesn't. Self-care is a practice of taking intentional and inspirational actions to preserve or improve your physical, mental, and emotional health. This can look like so many different things, so it's important to learn what works for you and what areas you need to focus on. So this could look like practicing self-compassion and positive talk to yourself and to others to improve your mental and emotional self-care. It could be dancing, walking, stretching, and moving for your physical self-care. It could be resting and relaxing, again, for your physical and your mental, and actually your emotional self-care again. It might be that you realise you need to connect more with family and friends and you're missing that social self-care part. That's something we all need. Perhaps engaging in creativity is what you crave, and that is how you give yourself space and joy. The key here is to remember that we are all very unique, and different days will require different things to fulfill our needs. There is no right or wrong answer, but it is your opportunity to create your own self-care routine and make sure you're following it consistently. There's that word again. I want you to really think about what brings you joy and how you can do more of that.
So the most important thing you do today is make sure you haven't just listened to this, it's that you've heard it and you've written down what resonates with you. Now, just in case you need a reminder, here's what we said. Number 1, journaling. Get it out of your head and down on paper. Start learning about who you are right now and what you need to work on. Create that sleep routine. Without sleep, you cannot function to the best of your ability. Something will eventually break. Join the 1% Club. Make small daily changes to move forward consistently. Decluttering. What and where can you physically clear space to breathe? What gives you joy? Find out what gives you joy and do more of it regularly, consistently, and make it non-negotiable. Pick one and get started. Just one will have an impact. When you're ready, go to the next. Without making your personal plan, without taking action, you will not be able to create the space you need. You are all listening to this because you're stuck or overwhelmed, but know deep down you're meant for more. But nothing changes if nothing changes. It's so hard to do so by yourself, and so much easier to do with support and guidance. So how else can we help? We've only scratched the surface today. Would you like to know more about opportunities to create space with us today? Awesome. So I mentioned it earlier, but this is our one-day Creating Space workshop. It's for anyone who is ready to make those changes, is ready to start putting herself first, knows that there is more to life than where she's at, needs a safe space to make those changes, needs a guiding hand to make it happen. Now, this is not for everyone who isn't ready to take action. You might not be ready right now, and that's fine. But please don't look back and wish you had made that decision in 6 months or a year's time. We are really excited to bring this to you, as it's the first time we've put it together in this way, and we know you're going to leave feeling inspired and motivated to get started. Isn't that room gorgeous?
It's beautiful, isn't it? I love it. The learning begins before the day of the event with the Wheel of Needs exercise we mentioned and the personality quiz, which I know, and I'm sure Jo agrees, you are going to love. These need to be completed beforehand so we can discuss and share in the morning session. After a break, we will have a look at what makes you tick, an interesting look at addictive behaviours and why you're doing certain things. After a yummy, nutritious lunch, we will take a walk into the gorgeous grounds around the lodges and stop for a meditation to allow you to start processing and reflecting on what the day has brought up for you and give you some space to just be still. Then back in that gorgeous room to do our final thoughts of the day and additions to your personal plan. We also have the opportunity to use the pool and sauna for those of you that would like to. And I do have to say, I will definitely be in there. I love a sauna and a swim.
And there it is. Look at that.
Fantastic. It excites me just looking at it.
I know. So the full price of the Creating Space workshop is £197. But for anyone booking on early or attending this workshop here, it's only £97, which includes your lunch, use of the pool and facilities, and of course, creating your own personal plan from the learning. So you'll be able to register from using the link below this video. We really hope that you found this session really useful. We hope that it's whetted your appetite and you want to join us for a full day's working on yourself and helping you create that space that you know you need. Thank you so much for joining us.
Take care and see you soon.